Hola, hola. This is Tico, Tren, SYSBM. And this video is pretty much as titled, Girls Night Out. Now, I've always heard about this Girls Night Out stuff, and I've never been one for the type of Girls Night Out that everybody always talks about, that your significant other is doing for the most part. Like, man's never done that. Man's don't do that. Any of the women I've ever dated don't do that shit for the most part. And the irony to it is, like, Nina's never done it. Um, Like the most she'll do for a girls' night out was like go eat lunch with her mother. That was about it. She used to have a regular lunch date with her mother for the most part, all the time for the most part. Same restaurant all the time. And Deshari pretty much her definition of girls' night out was, taking the girls out to lunch. Or her daughters in other words, which was Karen and Deshari, the twins that we had together, was taking them out to lunch and, stuff along the lines of that. And every now and again she'll go like have lunch with the her daughters and her mother at the same time for the most part. Outside of that, her mother, and her aunts were at the same time. Other than that, like that was pretty much it for her. Which brings me to like the Cartel Princess. The Cartel Princess is the definition of girls' night out is taking the girls out. And when I say girls, my two oldest daughters and Talia out to basically go for a spa day, or they'll go out to get their nails done and their hair did for the most part. Um, Mainly their nails because I mainly do my daughter's hair anyway, my damn self for the most part. So mainly they get their nails done and they get a manicure and pedicure basically, stuff like that. They'll go to a spa. They'll go get in a sauna and you know um mm, stuff like that, steam room and sauna shit like that basically. When I say spa day, so like it's just stuff like that for the most part. Um, that's typically tends to be the Cartel Princess's definition of girls' night out. She doesn't really do very much anything else besides like hanging out with her daughters and stuff like that, and you know taking them for girls' day for girly things. The girly I call it the girly play dates basically that they go on where they go get the pedicures and manicures and they'll go get they'll go to the one spa and they'll get like the steam room or they'll get like the sauna and they'll sit in there and drink tea and shit like that, which is actually pretty funny. And I found it very funny that they do that, and that's pretty much her definition of girls' night out. Another definition that the Cartel Princess have of girls' night out is when her friend comes in, and when her friend comes in, we tend to all go out for the most part, and we all go out to the same place like a bar or a club or you know stuff along the lines of that. And she calls that girls' nights out, despite the fact that I'm there and we're all there for the most. Friends are there. So like we would get together a bunch of friends and we'd call up a bunch of friends and we just go out basically as a group of friends and she calls that girls nights out too. So she typically doesn't do anything without me for the most part. She, the most she'll do is like if we're traveling apart, that's about the extent of that basically. Usually I'm coming from one direction, she's coming from an opposite direction and stuff along the lines of that. So like as far as girls' night out, as far as what everybody how everybody describes it in like the English speaking manosphere, I've never actually seen or dated anybody who does that type of shit for the most part, who goes out with their friends, fall down drunk and plastered, and then be coming home and getting in the hijinks and shit that they don't need to get into. I've never once dated somebody like that at all, which is pretty. I guess which makes it okay for me, but like sad for everybody else who's dated people like that. Because I look at it like this: if you can't trust who you're dating, then you shouldn't be dating a person in the first place. It's typically how I always looked at it or said it. because I don't do that whole entire not trusting shit, or I don't do the whole entire any other type of shit. If I can't trust you, I can't trust you. And the thing about the relationships that I'm in and the relationships that a lot of other people are in is like they always talk about privacy and this, that, and the other, and this, that, and the other, and having to go through people's phones and shit like that. Like I've never been in a relationship where I had to worry about somebody going through my phone, or me going through somebody else's phone, or me somebody answering my phone, or you know me answering her phone for the most part. I've never been in a relationship where that wasn't a thing, basically. And the sad part about that is I've always been able to answer her phone, and she's always been able to answer my phone for the most part. Because I look at it like this: I ain't got shit to hide. So what's the deal? And it's typically how that pretty much works. And my phone doesn't stay locked for the most part because I ain't got shit to hide. Pretty much, it's pretty open and shut when it comes to phone calls for the most part, as far as that. But I'm the most spontaneous person when it comes to other shit. But when it comes to phone calls and shit like that, it's pretty much an open and shut case. My contact list is there. Her contact list is there. Her phone isn't locked either at all, which is really, really cool. And the sad part about that is this is typically this is typically how we this is typically how our relationship works. Like if somebody calls my phone and I'm in the bathroom, or if somebody calls my phone and I'm in the kitchen and she's there, she answers the phone. Same goes for her phone and me, basically. If somebody calls her phone, I answer it. Or if she left her phone at home and somebody calls it, I'd be like, yeah, this and the other, this and the other. Yeah, she left her phone. She's a goofball like that. She's a goofball like that for the most part. Same goes for me for the most part. Like she answers my phone when I don't answer it, basically, or I'm too busy to answer it when I don't feel like answer it. She answers my phone. The same goes for me for her. She don't feel like answering, I'll answer it. So it's one of those things. So I've never once had that problem with trust in a relationship to actually have to worry about what the person's doing, and what the person's wondering what I'm doing and shit like that. And it's sad, but like it's sad to hear people go through shit like that. But at the same time, it's like, wait, why is your phone locked? Well, I'm going through my shit. Well, obviously you got some shit going on. Obviously you haven't really learned how to be a team. Is typically how I look at shit like that for the most part. So typically a lot of the times when I actually see and hear a lot of the people actually going at it or going back and forth over, a phone, or somebody break, or your significant other, like, answering your phone or breaking into your phone. Usually those are people who shouldn't be in a relationship in the first damn place. Because I look at it like this: if you have to have your phone locked around your significant other, you're probably doing something wrong. You can't really blame that on, well, I want some privacy and this, that, and the other. I mean, there's time to yourself, yeah. But like your phone, just like a household phone, your phone should be pretty much what it is for the most part. Um, and it's just stuff like that that just blows my mind. And like we got people, and I already know that I'll hear stupid people say, "Well, Tico, what if it's a business call?" It's a business call. So, um, it got a different ringtone for a business call, so she pretty much knows how to answer professionally. Um, just stuff like that, and and like I already hear like the excuses or the questions. Well, what about this, Tico? Or what about this, Tico? Or what about this, Tico? I'm gonna need y'all to miss me with all that crap. And the sad part about that is like it's just stuff like that that just confirms my suspicions and my beliefs and my views on how the relationship started, how the relationship went, and how the relationship ended for the most part. When it comes to a lot of the people who talk about this shit, because I look at it like this: if you can actually say all this shit and then stand by and say, "Well, she didn't trust me," well, obviously you didn't trust her as much as she didn't trust you. Because if your phone is locked, you didn't trust her just as much. It's just facts. Just because the fact that she went through your phone, she didn't trust you. The fact that she had to go through your phone and found out how to unlock your phone and go through your phone, she didn't trust you. The fact that you had to have your phone locked means y'all weren't in a trusting relationship in the first damn place. So y'all relationship was built on bullshit or nothing, or shaky grounds for the most part, which is sad. And this is typically this type of stuff that I hear from a lot of the men, and I hear from a lot of the women, and I hear from all the people when it comes down to it. When you boil it down, y'all both didn't trust each other. At the end of the day, y'all both didn't trust each other. Because like you'll hear op-eds or men writing stories talking about she I was always wondering why she had her phone locked. Okay. Then nobody asks that nobody actually ever actually continues to ask the question and actually finish the question and ask, so is your phone locked? And it's just shit like this because I've noticed there's a lot of men who will complain about their significant other's phone being locked, or there's a lot of women who complain about their significant other's phone being locked. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, their phone is locked just as much as their phone is locked. And it's just facts. And you can't tell me if both y'all phones, if one of y'all phones is locked, 9 times out of 10, both of your phones are locked. It's just facts. You can't tell me that it's just locked for no reason, or it's just locked because you don't trust somebody, or you were doing this basically. If if your phone is locked, your significant other phone is locked. Just know it. And the sad part about that is this is how a lot of the relationships fuck up. This is how a lot of the relationships get into the shit that it is because y'all don't even trust each other. Y'all don't even have the foundation of trust. Y'all have the foundation of lust and sex, basically, but there's no trust there for the most part. And this is typically how a lot of the relationships go and fail and fall off for the most part because a lot of the people don't really take the time to actually put in the work to actually learn how to trust your significant other. They basically pull the whole entire, well, I need my privacy. It's a fucking cell phone. It would be no different than if it was a fucking house phone. If you gotta lock your fucking phone in the first place, this goes for men or women. If you gotta lock your phone in the first place with your significant other there, you shouldn't be in that relationship in the first damn place because that relationship is not built on trust. There is very little to no trust in that relationship for you to lock your fucking phone. And that lets me know that one of y'all, if not both of y'all, got some shady shit going on, literally, in those relationships for y'all to both lock your fucking phones. And it's sad, but it's so damn true. And this is typically the type of shit I'm talking about when it comes down to a lot of the shit that women do and a lot of the shit that men do. And they tend to always want to paint it under the guise of, oh well, I want my privacy, or I don't want to answer my phone. Like why? 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 And it's just shit like this that just blows my mind because like I've never been in a relationship where I didn't answer her phone and she didn't answer my phone. Because at the end of the day, I look at it like this: what is there for me to hide, or what is it? Why do I need to lock my damn phone if I'm not out in public around people I don't know? If I'm at home, I shouldn't have to lock my fucking phone unless I'm doing something I have no business doing, or unless I don't trust my significant other. This is kind of like what they always say, the famous quote about like phones. Be careful what you're looking for because you just might find it and it might upset you for the most part. It's just facts when it comes down to it. And a lot of people do this shit. Then they want to be upset because they found some shit, basically. Meanwhile, you went searching for the shit. I'm not condoning not searching for the shit. I'm not condoning locking your phones, but I look at it like this. If you're not out in public and you ain't got to worry about your phone being stolen, what is the point of locking it? And it's just stuff like that that just blows my mind because, like, I can't see myself locking my phone if I'm at home just chilling. I can't see myself locking my phone if I'm just chilling. It's just facts. And it's just stuff like that that just blows my fucking mind when I hear a lot of people say this shit, or I hear people say stuff like, I wanted my privacy, I wanted this, I wanted that, I wanted this, that, and the other. What are you trying to hide? Is the question that it always comes back to. This isn't a country. This is your significant other. This is the person you sleep next to at night. This is the person you wake up to next every morning. This is the person that you pretty much said you would love, hold, cherish, and till death do you part, through sickness and health. So what do you have to hide? Both men and women. If your significant other can't answer your phone, I want you to let that mull around in your head. I digress.